Call to order. Welcome to Bossier City Regular Council meeting. Today is 3:02, Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023. We're going to start with the invocation by Councilmember Chris Smith, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by myself.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, Lord. We thank you for all the many blessings that you've given us, Lord, and you bestow into Bossier City. Lord, we pray that you will be with us in this chamber today as we conduct the business of the people of Bossier City, Lord. And as we depart from here, that you will be with each and every one of us and keep us safe. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Montgomery?
Here.
Mr. Hammonds?
Here.
Mr. Darby?
Here.
Mr. Free?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here.
Mr. Maggio?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
All present. Council, in accordance with the Louisiana Open Meetings Laws and the adopted Bossier City Council Meeting Rules Resolution, the City Council asks for order and decorum at our meetings. Please silence your cell phones. Anyone wishing to address the council on any agenda items may approach and state their names and address for the record and shall be permitted 3 minutes to make their comments on the particular item that's up for discussion, with up to 4 speakers per side. Any person making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks or who shall become boisterous while addressing the council shall be forthwith by the President Pro Tem barred from further audience before the council unless permission to continue be granted by majority vote of the council. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body and not to any member thereof. No question shall be asked a council person or the mayor except through the meeting chair. All other audience members are asked to please observe the meeting quietly. City Council has appointed the city marshals as the sergeant at arms, and they have been instructed to maintain decorum and ask anyone in violation to step out of the meeting. Council, we've had one add-on request. It would be number 45 under new business. Approve reappointment of Michael Vercher as Bossier Parish Community College's appointment to the Personnel Board, appointment effective October 1st, 2023, and expires October 1st, 2026. The reason it's being added on, the request to be added on is due to the letter recommending reappointment received after the agenda deadline, and that was the mayor's office requesting.
So moved. Second.
Chris. We need to, audience. All right, is there any questions from the audience on adding this agenda item to the agenda? All right, vote.
Popped up?
There it goes.
Motion carries.
Make the motion, we approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
First by Councilman Montgomery, second by Councilman Smith. Questions from the audience? Please cast your vote.
Motion carries.
All right, ceremonial matters, recognition of guests. We have the Commission for Women of Bossier City, mentee recognition.
Yes, sir.
We have a crowd.
Wow.
Good afternoon. My name is Ray Powell, and I stand before you today as a proud member of the Bossier City Commission for Women and also as the president of the Bossier City Commission for Women. And because of the support that we receive from the Bossier City Council as well as the Bossier City Mayor and the City of Bossier City, we are able to provide multiple functions and programs that benefit the women and children of our community. And one of our longstanding longstanding programs is our mentoring committee, or mentoring program, sorry. And we have multiple young ladies from all of the schools, that high schools in our school district, who are able to take part in this program thanks to the Bossier Parish School Board. And our, one of our committee chairs is Sonia Bales. The other of this mentoring program is Stacy Fernandez. But Sonia is going to, at this time, introduce to you each of these, or, well, she'll tell you a little bit more about the mentoring program, and then they are going to introduce themselves to you very quickly.
Thank you, Ray. It is truly an honor to come before you today to introduce you to this year's class of mentees for the Commission for Women of Bossier City. We are just meeting them and getting to know them ourselves. We have 15 outstanding high school seniors this year that are a part of this class. They represent each of our high schools, and they are the best of the best. This is a leadership program that enables them to see different facets of our community. Today, they had a team building session followed by coming before you, and they're going to go over to the fire department for a tour a little bit later. We have lots of different sessions, including etiquette this year, also a lot of community service opportunities for them. And this is just a great way for them to be able to see what comprises a society and how to be productive citizens and to be able to give back to the great city of Bossier City. So at this time, it is my honor to ask each of the young ladies to just come by, introduce themselves, and tell you which high school they attend. So, ladies?
Hi, I'm Ania Baldwin. I go to Parkway High School.
Hello, I'm Mariah Williams, and I go to Bossier High.
Hi, I'm Bailey Gunter, and I go to Airline.
Hi, I'm Bailey Mobley, and I go to Airline.
Hi, my name's Jackie Espinoza, and I go to Airline.
Hello, my name is Camilla Glenn, and I go to Bossier High.
Hi, my name is Mary Davis, and I go to Plain Dealing.
My name is Erin Smith, and I go to Plain Dealing.
My name is Anaya Green, and I attend Halton High School.
Hello, my name is Catherine Silva, and I go to Benton High School.
Hello, my name is Carmen Harrison, and I go to Benton High School.
Hi, my name is Alana Wilson, and I go to Parkway High School.
Again, they are a fabulous group of ladies, and we are eager for what this year has in store for them. We also want to recognize some of our fellow commissioners who are here today. We volunteer to be mentors to these young ladies and just help kind of guide them throughout the year and continue that relationship moving forward. So thank you so much again for supporting this program. Each of these ladies now has an opportunity at the end of the school year to apply for scholarships to assist with their future educational endeavors. So thank you so much again.
Recognition of Cindy Dreyer, President of Louisiana Realtors.
You guys want to read Ms. Dyer a proclamation, okay? Whereas Cindy Dyer with Pinnacle Realty was installed as the 2024 President of the Louisiana Realtors on September 20th, 2023. She is the first woman from Northwest Louisiana to serve as state president. Whereas Ms. Dyer is a licensed Louisiana realtor and associate broker and more than 19 years of experience. She serves Northwest Louisiana, which spans 7 parishes. She is consistent multi-million-dollar producer specializing in new construction, existing home sales, relocations, military reassignments, first-time home buyers, investments in commercial properties. Prior to becoming a realtor, Dyer spent more than 17 years working for a shopping center developer. And whereas Cindy was named Realtor of the Year in 2016 Dyer was received the prestigious National Association of Realtors Commitment to Excellent Award, is a graduate of the Real Estate Institute and Military Relocation Professional Certification from the NAR, and completed the NAR's Fair Housing Challenge. Dyer is director of the Relationship Marketing Group, a unique business-to-business group in the Shreveport-Bossier area. RMG was developed to provide a positive and professional referral program that enables its members to develop meaningful, long-term relationships with other quality business professionals. And whereas Cindy Dyer was quoted as saying, "Integrity and reputation are imperative. I believe in providing excellent customer service to give clients the best possible experience. And I believe honesty and communication is vital to take any transaction from contract to close. I believe you treat others as you want to be treated. My clients and I end up building lasting relationships." These words explain her excellent reputation and impressive resume. Cindy, our community is better because of you. Thank you for leading with excellent integrity. Now, therefore, I, Thomas H. Chandler, Mayor of the great city of Bossier City, do here proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023, as Cindy Dyer Day. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I just want to address y'all just for a minute. Thank you so much, Mayor and the Bossier City Council, for inviting me here today. It is truly an honor to be recognized in this way, and I'm truly deeply moved by the support I've been given by my community. I am proud to have just been installed as the 2024 State President for Louisiana Realtors and to hold the distinction as being the first female from Northwest Louisiana to serve in this capacity in 105 years. I stand here not as an individual, however, but as a representative of the 17,000 plus dedicated and passionate realtors from across the state. Together, we share a commitment to promoting and protecting the interest of property owners and ensuring the highest standards of professionalism in our industry. I am humbled to lead this exceptional group of professionals who work tirelessly to make home ownership a reality for families in Bossier City and throughout Louisiana. Thank you again for this incredible honor, and I look forward to serving our community and state with dedication, passion, and unwavering commitment. May we all continue to work together to build a brighter future for Louisiana. Thank you.
Council, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes, September 19th, 2023, regular council meeting.
So moved. Second.
Wait,
And dispense with the reading.
and September 19th, 2023 budget workshop.
And the budget workshop, dispense with the reading. Wait a
Make
minute.
a motion.
Second.
Chris first.
Did someone make a motion? So moved. Oh, Mr. Williams did. Okay.
First by Mr. Councilman Williams, second by Councilman Maggio. Questions from the audience on the minutes? Please cast your vote.
Motion carries.
All right, we're opening the public hearing for the Community Development Block Grant Program.
Public hearing concerning the city's amendment to the fiscal year 2019 action plan for community development block grant funds and the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, Public Law 116-1360, CARES Act.
Good afternoon, Council, Mayor. I think this is the first time I've ever been first on the agenda.
Moving up, Bob.
We're just proposing to move some funds that are in the coronavirus CDBG funds that we got in 2019 and 2020. And this is going to be an amendment to the 2019 annual action plan. And we're proposing to move planning and administration monies in the amount of $73,983, which we don't really need that in planning and administration as much as we do. We're going to put it into the CV2 community utilities and community rental assistance. And that provides utilities and rental assistance for people that may have been affected by COVID and had trouble with their jobs and stuff like that. And then we're also proposing to move the funds from the Small Business Forgivable Loan Program and the Default Loss Mitigation Home Retention Program in the amount of $43,326 to the Career and Jobs Development Program, where they help people prepare for jobs. That's about it. That's all we're doing.
All right, is there any questions from the audience? Council, any questions for Bob? All right, thank you.
Close the public hearing.
Closed. New business.
Adopt an ordinance amending ordinance number 133 of 2018 by changing the zoning classification of a certain tract of land being 6.05 acres more or less from RT racetrack to I-1 light industrial for a proposed dog kennel business, Red Rover, located at 8070 East Texas Street, Bossier City, Louisiana. And that's favorable by MPC, first and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
First by Councilman Smith, second by Councilman Maggio. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council?
I do, Mr. President. Is this a second location they're opening? Didn't they already have a location on Stockwell, right off Stockwell?
Yes, they will be relocating from the Stockwell location to this location,
Okay.
so that one will close.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Additional questions? Cast your vote.
Mr. Montgomery, did you vote on that?
Me?
Mr. Montgomery.
Oh.
There you go.
Motion carries. Adopt an ordinance approving a conditional use for the sale of high and low content alcohol for on-premise consumption at a cigar lounge club, Macanudo, located at 777 Margaritaville Way, Suite 200A, Bossier City, Louisiana. First and final reading, favorable by MPC.
So moved.
Second.
First by Councilman Williams, second by Councilman Hammonds and Maggio.
Smith.
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 All right, questions from the audience? Any questions from the council? Cast your vote.
Motion carries. Adopt an ordinance declaring that an emergency does exist in the city of Bossier City affecting property, health, and safety due to the need to remove old mold in the firing range building at a cost of $40,000 to come from the jail and municipal building fund. First and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
First by Councilman Williams, second by Councilman Maggio. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council? Cast your vote.
Motion carries. Adopt an ordinance to declare that an emergency does exist in the city of Bossier City which could affect property, public health, and safety due to the requirement to modify the membrane filtration system for Bossier's water treatment facility at a cost of $36,000 to come from the Water Capital and Contingency Fund. First and final reading.
So moved. Second.
First by Councilman Williams, second by Councilman Smith. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council? Please cast your vote.
Motion carries. Introduce an ordinance authorizing a variance to ordinance number 79 of 2008, first reading.
So move.
Second.
First by Councilman Hammond, second by Councilman Williams. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council? Please cast your vote.
Motion carries. Introduce an ordinance to approve report of change order number 1 for the Walter O. Bigby Carriageway beautification efforts within Phase 1 of the Walter O. Bigby Carriageway with an increase in project cost of $17,660.03 and adding an additional 143 days. First reading.
So moved.
Second.
First by Councilman Montgomery, second by Councilman Williams. Questions from the audience? Name and physical address, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Robert Wright, 6307 West Oxbow Circle. Just ask something that maybe y'all can help me with. I have all these change orders on various projects. Why aren't these included in the original bid? And I don't know exactly what that answer is, so that's why I wanted to ask it.
Mr. Rauschenbach?
Wish I had an easy answer for that. I don't. There's always things that occur during construction that are subsurface and beyond our physical ability to see, or things that occur during construction that we may think need to be modified or changed. And so we bring those before the council and ask for them to review those and understand what we're doing out there.
I saw recently something about adding lights to the, if I have this correctly, adding lights to the carriageway. I don't know if I'm correct or not, but my concern and question would be again, was lights not something that you could have known beforehand, assuming I'm right? Thank you.
As it pertains to that question, the lighting was part of the project. It was added in. We had it as an additive alternate. That work was added in because there was funding available to put that in, but it's an expensive component of any project, lighting or things like that.
So you couldn't have known that beforehand?
No, we did. It was part of the design beforehand, but it wasn't included in the base bid of the work. Just for cost, it wasn't included in the base bid to try to get the best and most reasonable price for the project.
One last thing I'll say. The concern I have, and I thank you for letting me ask these questions, is that we put out projects for bids, and we get a bid, and then all of a sudden, there's a change and another change that increases the amount that wasn't in the original bid. Again, I'm not an expert on this, but this is just a question I've seen over time. And I think you've given me some answer, but I'm sure you've got a better answer than that. I mean, more of an answer. Thank you. What was it included in the original bid? And I think that's how it's increased over time, whether I'm right or not, I don't know.
Mr. President, I would ask that if we're going to have a dialogue, that the speakers be allowed to stand at the mic and then recognize each speaker appropriately. Thank you.
All right, any questions for Ben? From the council, any additional questions from the audience?
Did you say from the council?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, Mr. President. I've got numerous questions, Mr. President, so I won't be yielding my time. I'll just be getting answers to each question, if that's okay with you.
All right.
The first question is, this was bid out in 2020, 3 years ago, when this money was appropriated for something, in my opinion, that is not benefiting the citizens of Bossier City. It's kind of a waste of money in my eyes. I don't understand this. Includes an increase in project cost by $10,773.25 for foundation modifications requiring an additional 94 days. from me driving by it every day, it looks like it's half-built, and now they want to do foundation modifications?
No, sir, the foundation modifications are done. That was, obviously, all the foundation work was put in before they started building the monument up out of the ground. So,
Okay, go ahead, I'm
so the
sorry.
plans included a helical pile foundation that was believed by the architect to address that, the foundation, much like a pre-engineered metal building that you might be familiar with. Sometimes those things get engineered as part of the construction process. When they began doing the engineering work on that foundation, it was determined that what the contractor bid on, what he was asked to bid on, which was a helical pile foundation, wouldn't be sufficient based on the subsurface soils out there. So the contractor recommended a drilled concrete shaft foundation in lieu of the helical pile, and that's what's on the change order.
Okay, so the contractor, before he took this bid, he didn't do any kind of geotech work?
Correct.
Anything like that, so in the end, it's costing us?
Correct.
All right. And then the engineering firm that did the foundation plan, everything like that, so nothing is falling back in their court. They didn't do any geotech work either.
The plans did not originally have a foundation design per se in there, if that makes sense. That was part of the contractor's responsibility to take care of once the project got under construction.
Okay, I just think that should fall back on the contractor and not back on the citizens of Bossier. What are the extra monuments or whatever is going on this?
So there's silhouettes, there's emblems on the monument itself, and the plans call for those to be painted steel. We did not believe that to be a long-term good solution, and so we asked the contractor to price a anodized bronze aluminum placard, if you will, on there versus painted steel.
And who are these going to be silhouettes of?
Walter O'Bigby.
All the way around?
4 sides, yes, sir.
Okay. I just think, I mean, this was approved in 2020. There were 4 people, they're sitting here approved this, 3 of us were not privileged to this. It's kind of misleading that this ordinance was done back then as a beautification. Beautification in my eyes are shrubberies, trees, plants, stuff like that, not a $400,000 statue, and that's all the questions that I have, so I'll yield my, thank you, Mr. Rauschenbach.
Yes, sir.
Any additional questions from council?
Where did the statue come from?
Where did it come from?
Because Mr. Hammond just made a good point. I'm looking at the original ordinance from December of 2020. These funds will be used to dramatically enhance the aesthetics of the Gateway Corridor into the city of Bossier. Says nothing about a statue, and I don't think that, he mentioned that 3 of us didn't vote on it. I don't think anybody voted on it. I don't think anybody voted on a statue, so I'm just curious where the statue came from. Whose idea was that? Who approved that?
The administration and council did back when that was all being designed.
Because I think it's and I'm not directing this to you, Mr. Rauschenbach, this is just a general statement to my colleagues. I think that it is, this is the first time we've been able to cast a vote on this. I think anybody has been able to cast a vote on this, and I think it's a pretty bad look when we have streets and sidewalks that we can't repair. We don't have the money in the budget to do that. We've got police and fire who are the bottom paid in their respective fields. Money's not in the budget to give them a raise. You have municipal employees who who lost their COLA 10 years ago and have, in the last 10 years, have had what, maybe 2% raises? They could go across the street to McDonald's and make more money, but it's not in the budget. Retirees, for heaven's sake, some of which have given their life to this city, they can't even pay their insurance premiums. No money in the budget to address that, but there's money for a $300,000 statue. And when we look at the issue of term limits and we ask why are the citizens determined to bring this up, it's because of things like this. And it's not to take anything away from Mr. Bigby, because he gave a lot to this community and to this state. But we did name a $60 million road after him. And I think that we could, I mean, we have no choice. We have to pass this now because it's halfway built. We'll just have a brick column standing in the middle of a roundabout. But this does not aid to economic development. It does not create any jobs. It does not create quality of life. It does nothing, but we can drive past it every day and say we built it.
Additional questions from the council? Please cast your vote.
Motion carries. Introduce an ordinance authorizing the reclassification of a vacant engineering aid 4 position to an engineering aid 1 position with a salary reduction and hiring of the position, creation and hiring of a part-time engineering aid 1 position, and increasing the salaries for the floodplain analyst, office manager 3, and engineering aid 2 positions, all within the engineering department, resulting in a net neutral change to the operating budget. First reading.
So move. Second.
First by Councilman Williams, second by Councilman Smith. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council? Please cast your vote.
Motion carries. Introduce an ordinance to adopt the general fund budget for 2024. First reading.
So, Phyllis, if this is appropriate time, I'd like to make a motion that we combine items 8 through 31, which includes all the budgets together.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion to, and a second to combine items number 8 through 31 by Councilman Montgomery, second by Councilman Williams. Questions from the audience on this? Any questions from the council?
Yeah, I do, Mr. President. I don't have a problem doing this. So have there been any changes to any of these budgets that we need to know about?
No, sir, no changes since the budget workshop, so it's the
Since the-
same version.
Same version?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you.
Additional questions to combine the budget items? Please.
Mr. Free, Mr. Crockett has his hand
Already
up.
called for.
David Crockett, 653 Dumaine Drive, Bossier City, Louisiana. Is this our only time to comment on all the items that were just combined, or is there going to be a comment period asked for later? I mean, is this the only time to comment on the budget?
No.
Okay.
So we're voting now to combine those.
To combine it, I know. Okay, I just want to make sure. All right,
Correct. All right, no additional questions. Please cast your vote.
Motion carries to combine. Introduce the ordinances for the 2024 capital and operating budgets.
All right, so if we wanted to take more time to examine this, what would be the proper procedure, Phyllis?
If you want to vote to continue it, you can vote to continue it. We have a public hearing scheduled for the 17th.
Which is open to the public and for all their comment
Yes,
regarding
sir.
that. So
Yes, sir.
in
So-
light of that, and plus the fact that there appears to be a funding mechanism that is taking roughly over $3 billion of capital revenue and transferring that to the general fund. And if you've heard my colleague speak today about the necessary capital expenditures that are warranted throughout this city and every district. I feel it imperative that we take a closer look at the effect of that capital revenues reduction and the transfer to the general fund, because that means once that money is taken out of capital, the revenue stream, for all practical purposes, it's gone forever, because otherwise you have to make the cuts that we made in '09. So I would make the motion that we continue these budgets until the November 7th meeting to get the input of the public on the public hearing on October 17th, take that into account, and take a hard look at the decision we're fixing to make, because it will have an effect on the people of Bossier City from now on.
Also, Mr. Montgomery, I think there's a shortfall, a couple of budgets that we got to have questions about, and, you know, I'd like to schedule some meetings with the mayor to talk about several of these budgets. So I'll second that motion to continue.
Yes, we did have some meetings prior that I got to talk to 3 of y'all, and I was kind of, you know, wanting to know where, I asked, you know, we could talk about this earlier, but I mean, if we're gonna talk about it, I'm more than happy to, guys.
All right, we have a first by Councilman Montgomery, a second by Williams. Councilman Williams, is there any comments from the audience on combining the items? I mean, on continuing the items?
David Crockett, 653 Dumaine Drive, Bossier City, Louisiana. I think my comments are appropriate to make now before the meetings come up, because I think we need a call to the general public to call your councilman, call the mayor, you know, reduce debt spending. You know, these are issues I asked in the last, one of the workshops about whether the $75 million that was already approved for borrowing another $75 million in debt, and so I think the city needs to know about that that's one of the major problems that the city faces right now. I've been speaking about that for 2.5 years. Don't be fooled. Bossier City staff balances its budget and does a great job. That's required by law. But the city council spends more than it brings in due to the out-of-control infrastructure costs funded by borrowing money. Bossier City needs a vision to reduce debt through reduced spending. Just ask yourself, do you feel safer this year? Bossier City has a wonderful but understaffed police force, and thank you for addressing that, Councilman. But there's a growing threat environment. These things need to be addressed. Are your inner city roads better than they were last year? No. Roads are crumbling faster than $2 to $3 million can fix. Bossier City's biggest headwind includes $34 million in principal and interest for the next 13 years. The problem is that 5 of the 7 councilmen that you've already approved the sale of an additional $75 million in bonds. So I think the public needs to know, or the council needs to withdraw that approval. How did we get here? Some of this council remember that 20 years ago, Bossier City's debt was around $100 million. Today, it's over $400 million. The public does not know that. Look no further. This is a significant reason why Bossier City can't afford reasonable pay raises. Significant inflation is here probably to stay for the foreseeable future. There are ways to increase positive cash flow that ought to be considered in the work group meetings, and that's why I wanted to speak right now instead of withholding for those work group meetings. Consider privatizing or liquidating assets that have repeated negative cash flow. Improve contract procedures that were already talked about today. Develop metrics that reduce costly change orders, which plague contracting. A good engineer knows how to use metrics for this purpose. The city can do better. It deserves better. Stop wasteful spending. Not one $350,000 or now $370,000, whatever it's going to cost, monument will fix your roads. This council can unrestrict the casino trust fund. I know there are negative implications that would be associated with that. It's a great buffer. But we have problems that have to be addressed, things like the Council on Aging. I appreciate the time to talk.
Any additional comments from the public? Comments from the council?
Mr. President, what is that date of continuation?
November 7th.
November
What
7th.
was the 17th? What was that?
That's a public
Public hearing
workshop
that
on the
will be
budget.
for the budget. It's been advertised that there will be a public hearing on the 17th.
Okay.
Mr. Montgomery, I did get the answer to that question that you asked me about to find out that the 75 million it's still there. In order for the city to do something with, they would have to be another ordinance passed to change some of the dates and the amounts and things, but that it is still.
Correct, so they would have to come before the council again for approval, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, additional questions from the council? All right, please cast your vote.
Motion carries. Introduce an ordinance amending ordinance number 179 of 2022 for repairs and upgrades to the north side pump station, adding an additional $40,000 to the project to come from sewer capital and contingency funds. First reading.
So moved. Second.
First by Councilman Williams, second by Councilman DiMaggio. Give them a second to clear the room. Any questions from the audience? Any questions from the council?
Yeah, Mr. Rauschenbach, is this just basically money y'all are needing, y'all are bypassing the lift station right now? Is that basically what you're doing?
Correct. Yeah, and it, like a lot of these projects, I mean, they were budgeted, and then, you know, we've gone to bid, opened those, and the available funds that we had budgeted back are not sufficient to cover the construction costs and things of that nature, so. It's a
But
needed project. That's the pump station that's right there by Two Johns.
Yeah, so eventually that will, has that one already been replaced, or we are replacing?
We're working on rehabbing
it,
it
so
right
y'all are
now.
just having to bypass everything right there and pump it
Correct.
else? Okay.
What was the amount again? 40,000 or 400,000?
40,000.
40,000.
I think we've got an extra zero.
It's 40,000. I think that decimal's in the
I
wrong
mean, it's just
spot.
a typo. Am I looking at it wrong?
You are, I see that, Councilman Montgomery.
Huh?
Yeah, it's
It's
40,000.
40,000, but I see what you're picking
Yeah,
up
they've
on.
got it,
Commas.
they've got another,
Zero in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pulling the ordinance, the actual ordinance.
Just you need to pull a zero out of there.
Any other questions?
Explanation
Thank you,
says
Ben.
40.
Thank you all.
The ordinance is correct.
Yes, the ordinance is correct.
All right. Any additional questions from the council? Please cast your vote.
Motion carries. Introduce an ordinance authorizing the elimination of one vacant utility worker, one position, and allocation of the salary surplus equally among the 12 current wastewater treatment division employees within the Public Utilities Department, resulting in a net neutral change to the operating budget. First reading.
So moved.
Second.
First by Councilman Darby, second by Councilman Smith. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council? Cast your vote.
Motion carries. Introduce an ordinance amending the 2023 general fund engineering budget by $42,000, increasing expenditures for contract mowing charges in the Property Standards Division. First reading.
So moved.
Second.
First by Councilman Smith, second by Councilman Williams. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council? Cast your vote.
Motion carries. Introduce an ordinance authorizing the reclassification of a vacant electrician 3 position to a utility worker 2 position with salary reduction and the hiring of the position, reduction of salary for the vacant foreman 1 position, and increasing the salaries for 2 utility worker 1 positions, all within the lift station division of public utilities, resulting in a net neutral change to the operating budget. First reading.
So move.
Second.
First by Councilman Darby, second by Councilman Smith. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council? Cast your vote.
Motion carries. Introduce an ordinance amending the 2023 general fund engineering budget by $20,000, increasing expenditures for advertising and legal notices. First reading.
So moved. Second.
First by Councilman Williams, second by Councilman Darby. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council? Cast your vote.
Motion carries. Introduce an ordinance to amend the 2023 sewer capital and contingency budget. First reading.
So moved. Second.
First by Councilman Williams, second by Councilman Maggio. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council? Please cast your vote.
Motion carries. Introduce an ordinance authorizing Mayor Thomas H. Chandler to execute the attached First Amendment to the license and naming rights agreement between the City of Bossier City and Brookshire Grocery Company. First reading.
So moved.
Second.
First by Councilman Williams, second by Councilman Smith. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council?
Yeah, Mr. President, Mr. Jacob, what is the life of the naming? How long is it?
I believe it's due to expire. You talking about the contract between Brookshire's and the naming rights in the city, or the contract between ASM Global and the city?
The naming?
The naming, I believe it's 3 years or 6. I can't remember. I believe it's either 3 or 6 years. What this is, Mr. Darby, is this is an amendment to the existing contract. Apparently, in the past, there was an agreement in principle for the city to perform certain functions and for Brookshire's to perform certain functions and obligations. And now those obligations have already been met and paid for. It's not costing the city any additional money. We're doing this at the request of Brookshire's so that all those prior agreements that were agreed to several years ago can be now put in writing and memorialized.
Okay.
Mr. Ray just told me it's 10 years.
10, okay.
Is that the same contract with ASM?
No,
Also?
those are different contracts.
Okay, when is that? Do we know when that one expires?
That's the one I was thinking about. I think it's probably 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, or 2025. Is that 2 years, I guess?
2 years.
Any additional questions from the council? Please cast your vote.
Motion carries. Adopt a resolution authorizing the hiring of a wastewater treatment plant operator for the Red River Treatment Plant and Public Utilities. First and final reading.
So moved. Second.
First by Councilman Williams, second by Councilman Darby. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council? Please cast your vote.
Motion carries. Adopt a resolution for Public Works to fill an equipment operator 1 position in streets and drainage due to resignation and backfill any position this creates. First and final reading.
So move.
Second.
First by Councilman Darby, second by Councilman Maggio. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council? Cast your vote.
Motion carries. Adopt a resolution adopting an amendment to the fiscal year 2019 Action Plan for Community Development Block Grant Funds and the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, Public Law 116-1360, CARES Act. First and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
First by Councilman Williams, second by Councilman Darby. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council? Please cast your vote.
Motion carries. Adopt a resolution supporting the City of Bossier City's project selection by the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development for the 2023 Transportation Alternatives Program. First and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Williams, second by Councilman Smith. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council?
I do, Mr. President. What project is this for? Shows our local match is $256,000.
Correct. This is a transportation alternative program, which the project is along North Gate Road from Old Minden down to the entrance at Barksdale. It would put in sidewalks that are ADA compliant. That would also go to Kerr Elementary. They would also go to Patricia Park. It would include a crosswalk with pedestrian push button. So it's all part of their, there's currently no sidewalks there.
Yeah, it's
and
very
there's
much
not a
needed
shoulder.
right there.
Yeah, so the total project is, I think, the 1.7 million, and then that would be the city's match, that was commitment. So it will come back before you in the form of an ordinance, but this is just, it's first come, first served to submit acceptance of the award, and so we wanted to get that in, and then we'll come back with a.
State does have their money?
It's actually a pass-through for federal.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And Mr. Hammonds, on this project, I have to give appreciation to Ben and his group for their consistency in getting that done. We've talked about that before, and there's no sidewalks. It's needed, and previously we couldn't get it, but we got there now, so I do appreciate that. And the people of District 2 will appreciate it as well.
All right, any additional questions from the council? Please cast your vote.
Motion carries. Popped up yet? There we go. Adopt a resolution ordering and calling a special election to be held in the city of Bossier City, state of Louisiana, to vote upon the adoption of amendments to the current city charter of the city of Bossier City, making application to the State Bond Commission, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. First and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
First by Councilman Smith, second by Councilman Hammonds. Questions from the audience?
Good afternoon, West Marriott, 4330 Panther Drive. Hello again. We have discussed term limits at every meeting for the past 3 months. It should be obvious that the city and citizens of Bossier City are not backing down. They have spoken loudly with over 2,900 certified signatures on the Bossier termless petition, more votes than nearly all of you received in your individual campaigns. The city received a certified petition demanding a change be made to the city charter, and the charter requires action upon receipt of a certified petition. Not opinion, not delays, action. Instead of action, what have we seen? Unlawful obstructions, shady legal maneuvers, and delays that deny and defy the very essence of our democratic process. This morning came news of an absolute joke of a lawsuit against the Registrar of Voters and the Bossier Term Limits Coalition. Actions that challenge the spirit of our laws and ignore the guidance of the Attorney General. Let's make the stakes absolutely clear. Mr. Maggio, you publicly supported term limits and stated you wanted to see it on the ballots in November. That opportunity has come and gone, sir. Mr. Darby, last year you spoke passionately about wanting to see more participation. 2,977 petitioners participated in this process, which is more than 4 times the number of votes you received in your last election in 1997. You have both spoken the words that your constituents want to hear, but your actions have not followed suit. It's time to stand by your words or submit your resignation to the constituents you've turned your backs on. There's no middle ground here. The citizens demand action, not excuses. Vote today to put this issue on the ballots and let the citizens of Bossier City determine the future of this council. The citizens, after all, are your boss. We did not arrive at this petition in a vacuum. If everything was as great as is frequently claimed, your terms would not be in jeopardy, and it's likely this issue would not be at the forefront of every news channel every 2 weeks. Our debt load is an astronomical $7,500 per citizen, and our repayment obligation precludes the possibility of any meaningful raise for our first responders for the next 13 years. And our city employees only have to look across the river or across the border for higher paying jobs. Millions spent on failed projects at the boardwalk. Unneeded and grandiose towers of taxpayer dollars are sprouting up on East Texas Street. And let's not forget the $30 to $60 million our city coughed up to UL Coleman and then conveniently sealed the settlement away from the watchful eyes of your constituents. This is your legacy of failure, and this is why term limits are needed now. In conclusion, Bossier City stands at a pivotal crossroads where the will of its people collides with political maneuvering. The citizens have spoken, and they demand action. Not another continuance and not another delay. This petition was delivered in July. It's October. Wake up, let us uphold the principles of democracy, heed the voice of the people, and vote for the mayor's resolution. It's time to honor and respect the wishes of the people of Bossier City. Thank you.
Additional comments from the public? Questions from the council? Please cast your vote.
Motion fails.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. I should have hit the red button. The against, I'm sorry.
Your vote is to be against?
Huh?
Your vote is to be against?
Yes.
Okay. Motion fails. Approve parade permit fee waiver for Brookshire's Super One Foods Heroes Run, October 21st, 2023.
So moved. Second. First.
I don't know.
Third. It doesn't matter.
I have Mr. Darby, Mr. Hammonds.
Let's give it to Mr. Hammonds.
They can
And
have it.
Second by Councilman Williams. Questions from the audience? Questions from the council?
Yeah, I do, Mr. Free. We had, Chief, you probably remember from last year, we had some major hiccups down there during this last year, and
Yes, sir.
I couldn't sit down for about a week.
Yeah.
Did we check with the wildlife refuge to make sure
We're
they are
working on
not-
that now. We've
Okay.
met with the Brookshire's people that do all of this once already. We've talked to them about changing their route because we also had some issues in other places.
Yeah.
They have a new route out now. We have not had time to go over it, but we're working towards that.
Okay.
We've been in communication, myself and administration have been in communication with the parish for the refuge down in the parish in South Bossier, but we're working towards it.
I think the biggest thing, they were having their Fall Fest
Yes.
deal the same exact time that
They
we
are, and
had
it's
to shut
the
the
same
roads
way
down.
this
Yeah.
year as well, so we're working towards a solution.
Other than that, it's a fantastic event. I recommend
It is.
everybody come out to it.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's really a good event down there for it's the Heroes Run, so thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. President, could someone get a video of Councilman Hammonds running?
That's what I was thinking,
Mr.
Call this meeting to order. You're out of order.
Mr. President, if I
Brian,
may.
did you hear that? Fine. We'll see how fast he can run after the meeting.
All right, I've lost
Chris.
control somewhere. Yes, sir.
At the
per the mayor's instructions, I believe that he was in contact with our police department, who has been in contact with the Bossier Parish Sheriff's Office. The two events do coincide. I also spoke with Mr. Patrick Jackson, who is the attorney for the police jury. We are all aware of the problem, and there is putting a plan in place as we speak to avoid that
Yeah.
semi-fiasco
Yeah,
that happened last year.
it was pretty bad last year.
Any additional comments? Not from you, Councilman Smith. All right, please cast your vote.
Motion carries. Approve reappointment of Michael Vercher as the Bossier Parish Community College's representative on the Personnel Board, term effective October 1st, 2023, and it expires October 1st, 2026.
So moved. Second.
First by Councilman Williams, second by Councilman Baggio. Any questions from the audience on the appointment? Any questions from the council? Please cast your vote.
Phone for some shine.
Reports?
Motion carries. I don't have any
No
reports.
reports?
We
Any
do have a
announcements?
budget
Good.
public hearing next meeting.
Mayor?
Something to talk about, yes, tonight, it's National Night Out. Everybody needs to go out and spend some time with your neighbors. You know, we're gonna have some police and fire out tonight. Everybody go out and just enjoy living in Bossier City. It's a great town. Thank you.
Where are they located at, Mayor?
There's some in South Bossier.
Okay.
And there's some in North Bossier. There's some in Plain Dealing, some in Benton. But it's all on the Bossier side of the river where you need to go.
All right, 2310 Ashland, 2329 Broadway Drive,
Party time.
Agape Faith Church, 1900 block of Scott Street, 2000 block of Jean, 313 and a half Edward Street, Hooter Park, parade from the Full of Love to Hooter Park, and 4819 General Scott Place.
Thank you, Mr. Free.
Ms.
Ms. Jeter still doing the parade?
Sir?
Ms. Jeter still doing the parade?
Yes, she is.
It's been like 20 years or so. So we're going to remember to do workshop.
Remind them again. All right, reminder, October 17th will be the public workshop for the budget.
Public hearing.
Public hearing for the budget. Meeting adjourned. October 17th, Tuesdays before council.